In Edge City, insecure and down on his luck cartoon-loving bank clerk Stanley Ipkiss is frequently ridiculed by everyone except for his co-worker and best friend, Charles "Charlie" Shoemaker. Meanwhile, gangster Dorian Tyrell, who owns the Coco Bongo nightclub, plots to overthrow his superior, Nico. One day, Tyrell sends his dazzling singer girlfriend, Tina Carlisle, into the bank to record its layout for an upcoming robbery. Stanley is attracted to Tina and she seemingly reciprocates. Unable to enter the Coco Bongo to watch Tina perform, and after his faulty loaner car breaks down while driving home, Stanley despairingly looks over the harbor bridge, lost in thought of what to do. His stream of thought is interrupted, however, when he finds a strange wooden mask near the harbor. Upon returning to his apartment and donning the mask, he becomes a mischievous green-faced figure known as the Mask, who can cartoonishly alter himself and his surroundings at will. With his newfound confidence and lack of inhibitions, Stanley indulges in a comical rampage through the city, humiliating several of his tormentors, including his temperamental landlady, Agnes Peenman, and the mechanics who gave him the faulty car. The next morning, Stanley encounters Detective Lieutenant Mitch Kellaway and newspaper reporter Peggy Brandt, both of whom are investigating the Mask's activity. To obtain the funds necessary to attend Tina's performance, Stanley again dons the mask and raids the bank, inadvertently foiling Tyrell's robbery in the process. At the Coco Bongo, Stanley becomes infatuated with Tina, who he ends up kissing after sharing an exuberant dance with her. Shortly after Tyrell confronts him for disrupting the robbery and stealing his girlfriend, Stanley flees, leaving behind a scrap of cloth from his suit, which turns back into a piece of his pajamas. After arresting Tyrell and his henchmen, Kellaway finds the piece of cloth and suspects Stanley to be the perpetrator. The next day, Stanley consults Dr. Arthur Newman, a psychiatrist who has recently published a book on masks, and deduces that the mask is a creation of Loki. It is also revealed that the mask's powers are only active during the night. Later that night, Stanley meets Tina at a local park as the Mask, which initially disturbs her, along with being too strong and wild towards her. But he manages to win her over with his charm and sweet nature to the point they are about to kiss until they are interrupted by Kellaway, who attempts to capture him. Stanley flees with Peggy after he manages to distract the police with a mass performance of the titular song from Cuban Pete. She then betrays him to Tyrell, who was released due to insufficient evidence connecting him or his henchmen to the robbery, for a $50,000 bounty. Tyrell dons the mask, becoming a bulky and malevolent green-faced being. Tyrell's henchmen force Stanley to reveal where the stolen money is, before turning him into the police. The Mask is a 1994 American superhero comedy film directed by Chuck Russell, produced by Bob Engelman, and written by Mike Werb, loosely based on the Mask comics published by Dark Horse Comics. The first installment in the Mask franchise, it stars Jim Carrey in the title role, Peter Riegert, Peter Greene, Amy Yasbeck, Richard Jeni, and Cameron Diaz in her film debut. Carrey plays Stanley Ipkiss, a hapless, everyday bank clerk who finds a magical wooden green mask that transforms him into the Mask, a green-faced troublemaker with the ability to cartoonishly alter himself and his surroundings at will. He starts using these powers to fight crime, only to become targeted by Dorian Tyrell, a gangster who desires to overthrow his superior. The film was released on July 29, 1994, by New Line Cinema, becoming a critical and commercial success. The film grossed over $351 million on a $18.23 million budget, which made it the second most profitable film based on a comic up to that point, behind Superman, 1978. The film also influenced the resurgence of swing music in the 1990s. It cemented Carrey's reputation as a significant actor of the 1990s, and it established Diaz as a leading lady. Carrey was nominated for a Golden Globe for his role, and the film was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects but lost to Forrest Gump. A standalone sequel, Son of the Mask, was released in 2005 to a critical and box office failure. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a certified fresh approval rating of 79% based on reviews from 52 critics, with an average rating of 6.5 out of 10. The site's consensus states, "It misses perhaps as often as it hits, but Jim Carrey's manic bombast, Cameron Diaz's blousy appeal, and the film's overall cartoony bombast keep the Mask afloat." Metacritic gave it a weighted average score of 56 out of 100 based on reviews from 12 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. When Tina visits Stanley in the station, he urges her to leave the city. Tina thanks Stanley for showing her kindness and warmth she wasn't used to and tells him he didn't need the mask to be special to her. She attempts to flee, but is kidnapped by Tyrell and forcibly taken to a charity ball at the Coco Bongo, hosted by Nico and attended by the city's elite, including the mayor. Upon arrival, the masked Tyrell kills Nico and prepares to destroy the club with a time bomb. Milo, Stanley's dog, helps Stanley escape from the station by retrieving the keys from the guard. Stanley then sets out to stop Tyrell, taking Kellaway hostage. After locking Kellaway in his car, Stanley enters the club and manages to enlist the help of Charlie, but is soon after discovered and captured. Tina tricks Tyrell into taking off the mask, which is recovered and donned by Milo, who battles his way through Tyrell's henchmen as Stanley and Tyrell fight against each other. After recovering the mask, Stanley uses it to save Tina by disposing of the bomb seconds before it detonates, and then defeats Tyrell by sending him down the drain of the club's ornamental fountain. The police arrive and arrest Tyrell's henchmen. Kellaway attempts to arrest Stanley again, but the mayor intervenes, telling Kellaway and the police that Tyrell was the mask all along as a way of releasing Stanley. After Stanley and his allies leave, the mayor informs Kellaway that he needs to have a serious meeting with him in the morning. The following day, Stanley, now exonerated and not wanting to encounter the police again, decides to dispose of the mask at the harbor, informing Tina that he will henceforth just be himself. She discards it before sharing a kiss with Stanley, to his delight. During this, Charlie tries to retrieve the mask for himself, only for Milo to swim away with it.